running a couple minutes behind. Thanks for attending on this December sales meeting. You know, November sales and February sales historically are usually the lowest, slowest months of the year, but there were still 5,900 sales in the MLS last month, so it was a fantastic month. Jeremy's getting Kimberly on the line right now, but thank you, Barbara, for being here, and Casey. And the numbers, as I was reviewing the sales numbers this morning for the MLS, it was really interesting seeing how the market's changing and where the market's going. So one of the things I want to do is a little role play as far as the listing presentation, and also a little role play on buyer presentation and on your buyer's skills. And I'll give you a real life experience that happened with me just this week with a buyer, Matt Cox. So
I'm Matt this afternoon.
All right. So with that being said, we'll go ahead, and Jeremy, do you want to kick us off? All right. Jeremy is filling in for Erica today. Erica, she was in the hospital yesterday, so keep her in your prayers. She has a gland in her neck that she's worried about. So the doctor told her she needs to stay home for a couple of days. So okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. You guys are going to have to bear with me since I'm taking over for Erica. All right, so top listing agent went to Wes. Top producer for the month is Tony. And agent of the month? Over here, thank you. And agent of the month went to Jill. Jill Bell. Okay, so for the listing contest, the top 5 agents in order are Wes, Claudia, Tony, Anaid, and Kathy. So Wes is leading our 4th quarter listing contest. We're not saying the numbers, but Claudia is right on your heels. Gameplay. All right. Sorry. She's watching it. Okay. Let's see. I want to mention our courier services. We have agents all across DFW, so if anybody needs any kind of courier services, they're available. Usually about $20 to $25 a month per run, or $20 to $25 per run, and it's billed monthly. So we try to keep that really simple for you guys on the courier services. That's something I've used for years. I've had courier service in-house for over 10 years. And that's always been very important because I didn't like spending time going and running errands around the property. So since our brokerage especially, you guys are so spread out around the metroplex, that's important. And we don't see it used as often as I would think. So okay. And for let's see, the seller's guide has been updated on the back agent. There's copies over here if you need it. And we still do have available the stationery note cards and folders. Printing, copying, all the services available are available for everyone here. Just let me know if you need any help with anything. I'm flipping around. Sorry, I forgot something. We're updating the buyer's guide now, and we do have a new photographer for your professional photography, Christina. Her rates are about 1/3 of the previous photographer, and if you want to shop during the monthly orientations, she's $50 for 2 edited photos. Yeah, headshots. She does a great job. Okay.
She's really good.
All right, I'm gonna do the drawing. Here, let me take your.
Yeah, we got our deal.
Okay. Thanks for your patience, guys, and thanks for filling in, Jeremy. You did a great job on the spot, on the fly, on the spot in the last hour and a half. So, so one of the things I want to do is just a quick role play, because it's something that we probably encounter all the time with a buyer that's reluctant, and they are, and here it is the end of the year, and they're a first-time home buyer.
they've never bought, this is a big decision to buy a house, so they're saying, well, maybe I should wait. Maybe I should wait until spring when there's more on the market. Maybe I should wait until next summer until I decide what my job situation is going to be. So what are some other objections that you hear from buyers out there that are just not ready to, they're scared to make a decision on paper? They're scared to write that offer. Tax returns. Okay. So you want the money from their tax returns. Okay. So here's the way I would handle that is let's take a look at the numbers. Let's really think about this and let's look at rent increases. So rent increases have gone up 9% in the last year. Depending on where you are, how much has your rent gone up just this last year? Okay, let's say 6%, whatever it is. Okay, well, when we model that out, you're planning on living here for the next 4 or 5 years, and that you're looking at a 20%, 25% increase at 3 years, 4 years down the road. One of the things that a first-time home buyer, it's interesting because they're usually the most scared when it comes to transaction, but yet they have the least to lose because first-time home buyers, if they want to rent that property out in a year, if they get tired of it in 6 months or if they're transferred, no problem. Rent it out because it's usually at a price point, an affordable price point that people can rent. And so that's like an investment that just pays dividends for the rest of their career. My first property I bought in college is a townhome in Oklahoma when I was 19 years old, and I still own it, haven't seen it in over 15 years. So that is, and it pays money in the bank. It's a direct deposit every single month. So those are the things that you want, the stories that you want to tell these buyers that are on the fence and they're a little bit reluctant. Also, they need to think about interest rates. Interest rates have been ticking up a bit. Interest rates have been forecasted for years now to go up, and they probably will. We're starting to actually see that now in the last few weeks. So that makes a big difference in that monthly payment. So when those interest rates go up, interest rates are also going up for these investors that own apartment complexes. That drives rent up too. So that doesn't mean that the rents are not going to go up if interest rates go up, because that makes a big difference in the market. So they once you work them through that process, and that's where the buyer's guide will give you a little bit of a some collateral to use to go through that. And we have a chart in here that shows if they choose to rent, then what over time, when you model things over time, it makes such a more powerful picture with your buyers. So showing that their monthly payment, okay, they're at this year at $600 a month, and then they're going to be there in 5 years. That same property that they're paying $9,000 that they've paid. So this gives you a kind of a table. So working through that, there's also lots of calculators to work through as well. The other thing I wanted to just briefly talk about is the marketing plan and the seller's guide. So one of the things that Erica's been spending a lot of time on is enhancing our listing checklist. And this is a I spent 2.5 hours with Ebby Holliday's best sales manager 2 weeks ago, looking at all their checklists in their back office and looking at all of their back office tools. And this is one of the things that ours blows theirs away. I mean, this is a very easy to read, and it works you step by step of everything that you need to do. So I would have this printed with me, and I would have this accompanying me on every listing presentation, because if you follow this, then you will provide exemplary service. You will have raving reviews and fantastic fans, because there's so much in this, and this will help you facilitate the marketing plan that's in that seller's guide. And we know the cheapest way to generate more business is generating more referrals, because that referral business from your sphere of influence is always the most profitable business. So those are some things to think about. Richard, you want to take us off on training?
Yep. Just want to go over a couple things. There's a new Roberta Ross CD. Hopefully you guys have been listening to that. I'm back agent. This is a topic that probably a lot of agents don't even think about. This one is called How to Build Your Real Estate Business to Sell It. So most of you guys, the age you're at right now, that should be part of your business plan, is when I'm ready to retire, I'm going to sell my business, just like a doctor or just like a dentist would. You have a new graduate from dental school or medical school, a lot of time they will buy an existing business. Same could hold true for a real estate agent. So, your database is worth something to someone, and your business is worth something to someone. So give that one a listen to today or tomorrow, but Jeremy's going to load it up here today. And also Roberta is going to make a weekly telephone conference call available, and the phone number will be out there for you to access that, and hopefully you'll participate in that. I've been reaching out to everybody about the coaching program for 2015. It's going to be completely voluntary. If you want to participate and you do the prescribed things, and Logan's going to waive your monthly office dues. So that's going to save you some money, and we're going to help you stay on track and hit the goals that you want to reach in 2015. So we're asking for a 3-month commitment, and that you'll have your white paper, your business plan, and your DISC assessment test. So we've got 17 people that have signed up and committed so far, and we think that's a great number. Back agent transactions, you guys liking back agent? Okay.
Yes.
Everybody seems to be using it. I want to thank Wes for always getting his stuff in there. As soon as he gets a new listing, or as soon as something goes under contract, he gets it out there. Why are you doing that?
Because I lose paperwork if I don't.
Does it help you manage things better?
Yeah, I mean, like with title companies and stuff, or the other agent, because it's just so complicated when you have their files on a computer or something. But if they're on the internet, just send it to this party, send it to that party, and everybody's copied.
Yeah, it is a good system, and you guys are using it well, and we really appreciate that. But try to make an effort when you get something under contract, especially if it's a buyer, is to go ahead and get that in the back agent, and that trips Kimberly to reach out and let that buyer know that they can reach out to one of our preferred lenders and get a second opinion as far as a loan's concerned. And they get a gift card just for participating. So, but we don't know that. If you wait until it's ready to close, then you really miss that opportunity. So get those things in as quickly as possible. Training, we continue to add new courses, and also if there's a particular subject that you're interested in, go out to YouTube. I looked last week. There are 400,000 training modules if you just enter real estate training. So there's got to be something that you have an interest in that we might not have out there. But we're continually loading those. So check back agent under the learn section. I want to say a few words about Tammy. She got a new expired listing. She's been working that thing since July, but she didn't give up, and she stuck with it. It's a nice little house over in East Dallas. The guy did a real good job of updating. She got John to take the pictures. They look fabulous, and she got that through Arch Telecom. And Ashton got a listing in Fort Worth. That's an expired listing the same way. Arch Telecom. He reached out to the lady. She's widowed. Had the house previously listed for $349,000. He got her to reduce the price to $300,000, and probably go under contract. So, okay.
And that's just one of the listing lead generation tools. You know, the Revo Gateway is a fantastic tool as well, with the probates and the divorce notices, and those. It takes a little bit more proactive, knocking the doors on the divorces especially, but very, very powerful listing leads. So,
and this coming year, we're going to talk a lot about cost versus value. If you're not using all these things that are available to you, your lead is not on the table.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Richard.
Can I, for training? Okay, the end of January, the 24th and 25th of January at the Anna Hotel, the Real Estate Expo is going to be again this year for the 5th year. Y'all have participated in the past, right? In the expo, and it will have over 250 vendors there, and there are 9 tracks of different real estate topics relating mainly to real estate investing that you can do. Logan will be teaching a couple of different sessions. I will be teaching a bunch of different sessions. There'll be over 2,000 people going to this event. It's huge. We're running the whole Anatole Hotel for it. I'm the chairman of the event this year. The tickets right now are $125 to get in. You can still get them from us for $100. I'll give you 20% discount off of it, so that's $100 right now. And till the end of this month, or till the 26th, I think I'll have those tickets available. And there'll be a whole track for real estate agents of how to work with investors, of which I'll be teaching, Logan will be teaching in that. So I really think you ought to spend that Saturday and Sunday at the Anatole. Mark it on your calendars now, and you will meet lots of people, lots of vendors, and learn a lot that weekend.
All right.
So get with Aaron if you want to buy a ticket.
Great.
Okay.
So let's talk about sales, market update for your clients. So this is great material, data for you guys to use for when you're making your calls to your sphere of influence and past clients, especially being this time of the year, whether you're delivering anything or you're at your holiday cocktail parties, then this is great dialogue. So knowing your market is important. So I sent you all a copy of this morning. I'm going to go over these numbers. My notes on here, buy sales under $140,000 and hello new construction. The sales, as you can see, the big change, and this is what I always talk about, look for the change. Where is the market going? Because anyone can just reread something and repeat it but not everyone is a professional like you guys can actually interpret these numbers and actually forecast where the market is going. Your licensees, your professionals, that's what you guys are good at, is forecasting where the market is going. That's what your buyers and your sellers want to know. So this is telling me, those price points, we can see it's very obvious that sales are down in the lower price points. They're down 22%, 14%, all the way up to about 140,000. Now, 6-8 months ago, we saw that sales were down under about 120,000. Now, that price point between 120 and 150 is even getting squeezed out. So that's real important. So what is that doing to the city of Dallas and the urban environment and the urban market? That's nothing that's really interesting to see in here that we'll chat about. Sales are up between the price points of 190,000 to about 500,000, double-digit increases in those price points. There's a lot of builders that are also in that market. The builders don't always put their inventory in the MLS. So this is not a very accurate picture for some of these price points that it's in new construction. So that's something you want to keep in mind. You want to really research your local market, depending on where that is. The month's inventory, where the least amount of inventory is, the sweet spot that I call it in the market, is between 150,000 and 250,000. So that's the market that people are gravitating towards. So know that any buyer you have that's looking in that market, any seller that you have a seller that's listing their home between 150 and 250, if it's in a hot MLS, which we're going to go through as well, in your sub-market, then make sure you need to create like an auction on that thing. That's the way I would see it. Is your job is to create an auction platform where you get multiple offers on it and you can drive the price as high as possible. So that's something to think about. 1.4 months inventory, 1.8 months inventory. That is phenomenal, guys. We're in one of the hottest markets in the country. There's nothing that I know of, another market that's like this. It's extremely exciting. So sales, summary of all the sales for last month, for the month of November around the Metroplex, 5,900 sales. November is usually one of the slowest months of the year. There was still 5,900 sales last month. So there's a lot of business for you guys to have out there. Sales, the average price was at 9% across the Metroplex from a year ago. That was for the month of November. Days on market, the average days on market is 55 days for all the listings that are in Netris. So what's your average days on market for your listings? That's something that when you're with your seller and going through that seller presentation, you want to make sure you contrast those numbers. People don't understand. You could say it's 120 days. Well, they may not know the difference to where if you say, well, this is the average and this is me. This is the difference. You contrast it. That's what resonates with people. That's what people understand. So the market average is 55 days. Our company average is significantly less than that. It changes all the time. Your average is going to change all the time too. So pulling those numbers is going to be important. Single family sales, pending sales are up 6%. So that's interesting. And active listings are down 13%. So what does that tell you? What's the change? Less inventory, the market's even getting hotter. That's phenomenal. So one of my notes here, what are the outliers in your market? You may have to look. There may be more change in the median sales price than the average sales price. Why is that? Is there more new construction and they're building bigger houses? So the average price is up. This has got to vary depending on what MLS submarket you're in. So really study this and find out what are the outliers in my market and what is it that I can speak to that's changing from last year. Where is your market moving and why is it moving? So for example, if we see a market to where, let's use South Oak Cliff as an example. South Oak Cliff to me is a real outlier right now. Area 13, MLS Area 13. There were only 37 sales last month, but that's still, wait a minute, I'm sorry, wrong number. Dallas South Oak Cliff. So sales in that market, the average price was up 12% from last year. The median price was up 4%. And inventory is down, but yet pending sales are up 23%. So, let's see, up 10%. So what that tells me is there's a lot, the values have also gone up in North Oak Cliff, because that's closer to downtown. So in North Oak Cliff, sales, the average sales price is up 12%. And what is the average sales price there in North Oak Cliff? Let's see, it is $125,000. Well, that makes sense. That's the market that is so hot right now. So North Oak Cliff, we're going to see average prices there probably keep increasing, and that it's going to push people in South Oak Cliff, those prices that are closer to those markets. It's just like Northern Hills is real close to Highland Park and it joins Highland Park. Highland Park West, which is not in Highland Park School, City of Dallas, but it joins Highland Park. So we know that those values usually follow Highland Park about 20%, because it's just because of the proximity, because it's so close. So that's one of the things you want to look at, is the neighborhoods are really close to something that's hot. Any central business district right now is really hot. So, and what is it that's making it hot? It's jobs. The jobs are in the central business district, and traffic's getting more and more congested. So people are willing to make some sacrifices on maybe the neighborhood if it's more convenient and closer to their job. So that's in these lower price points. So that's something to think about in the market, where the market's moving. So that's where you have to do your homework on your individual. There's 200 MLS sub areas, and that's something that you'll want to look. One of the stats that's interesting, I think, is the hotness ratio. So is your market one that's on the hot list? And it looks like number one is Southeast Arlington right now, at the top of the hot list out of 200 MLS markets. If I was in Southeast Arlington, I would be shouting that from Facebook and from all your social media and letting your people know, creating some engagement there. The Colony, number two. Carrollton Farmers Branch is in one of the top 10. So is Plano, Garland, and Mesquite. So these lower, historically, Mesquite is on fire right now. Why is that? Because it's so close to Dallas. It's right here. It's really close to the urban core. So that's something that's important. And the jobs are in Dallas, or in any central business district, and usually schools can drive the jobs as well.
Real quick, if I may.
Yes.
What's the name of that sheet that you're reading off of there?
It's what I sent you, and there's a lot of different data you can subscribe to. A lot of the title companies send this out. You guys get this one way or another, probably 4 or 5 times throughout the month. But I just go directly to the source. Every month, about the 5th to the 7th of the month, I go to our MLS, the Real Estate Center for Texas A&M, and they compile this data, and I just look at it myself on here, because I think it's usually faster, number one, than some of the others are presented in a much prettier fashion, but you have to wait several days for it. So I like to beat Steve Brown to the punch. I like to know before the Dallas Morning News reports it. So that's something that normally the 5th or the 7th day of the month is when this is posted on Netris. And I think that's important for you guys to also send out there to your buyers and sellers as well. Okay, what about marketing pieces? An interesting conversation Barbara and I had earlier this morning is so much of the changes with CFPB and Dodd-Frank and how the mortgage company and title companies, paying for co-marketing, how this is going to be done in the future. So as you guys know and have seen, we've really improved our marketing templates and a lot of our marketing collateral. And part of our company culture, and that's real important here, is that our shared vendor services and our preferred vendors, that we all are on the same team here. So to all be on the same team, then allocating these costs to where we're all sharing in the costs because we're all benefiting is real important to our brokerage. So in order to do that, Barbara and Service First, they've really beefed up their marketing department. They've added a couple more people because they're seeing these changes on the horizon. And they know that to be competitive and to lead their business, then they have to provide really strong marketing tools, marketing platform. So they can take a lot of the things that we've created over the last few months, and then they complete the fulfillment. So that means they'll be doing the printing, they'll be paying for a lot of the mailing. And we've got to allocate the costs, and they have to see that there's closings happening and there's a historical track record, and there'll be other things that go into that as well. Barbara, do you want to speak?
Well, the thing is, and we have that class here all the time, so the big deal with the CFPB is compliance. And if you're not in compliance on your marketing pieces and the things that you do with your agents, it's a $5,000 fine and up to a year in prison. So I'm just saying that it's a serious deal with the CFPB. So for instance, if you have a marketing piece and you have a title company on the marketing piece, and your piece is this big, and the title company piece is this big, and the title company is paying more than the space on the card, y'all are both in violation. Everybody gets in trouble, including Logan. So for us to do marketing pieces and contribute, we want to create the marketing piece. We want to keep everybody in compliance. So, and include the title company, mortgage company, the broker, the real estate agent. So what we have is we have a marketing department. So we do them for open houses, we do them for listings, we'll do a 12-month campaign for you. We do all those things. We're already set up to do it. I just need to get you in touch with our marketing department, and then you set up an appointment, go talk with them, and y'all come up with a plan. We can do, I think that you were sending the templates to Craig on some of the.
It'll probably be January sales meeting to where we can talk about the mechanics of this in a little bit more detail. We just want to give you more of an overview here. But we want to make sure that the templates that we've created, that the brand is consistent, so that the fulfillment portion and a lot of that will be completed by Service First once we have these details worked out.
And the way that it's set up to pay, just so you know, I mean, is that we do it all through PayPal. So it's like you don't have to write a check, come to the office, or do anything like that. And then we give you a quote way before anything's done. So if you're interested in any of that, and it's all real top of the line stuff.
So one of the things on the moving, we made a change to this. There's been some confusion that trip charge that Firehouse Movers charges. So we pay for the first $200 of the move. I think the way the flyers and so the marketing was worded in the past is that we pay for the first 2 hours of the move. So we do, but yet with that additional fee, some people are confused. So we want to make sure that the way it's presented is the moving is $100 an hour. We pay for the first $200, includes 3 people, and then but we need to reference the chip. Make sure that's, so this Jeremy will send this out to you probably later today.
Is it reimbursed to them or they pay it and then?
We streamline that to where now they have our credit card on file, so there's no need for a reambrsment anymore.
Kimberly usually reaches out to our house and then reaches out to your clients as well, see if they're using more time. So Kimberly handles all that. Usually get everyone in contact.
You see a credit on the HUD to the same.
No, that's the way it was before.
It was before.
Yeah, it's streamlined now. Now we pay for it, yeah. So one of the things that, and that's just an example of the overarching goal of brokerage, is we want to provide more support for you guys. And Back Agent has empowered us, through using that technology technology to where Kimberly's notified, Richard's notified when there's a new listing that comes in or when there's a transaction that goes pending. So that way we can do the things like notify Barbara to provide a second opinion on the mortgage and give a gift card to your buyer, just to give Barbara or Ryan the opportunity to provide that second opinion on the mortgage.
I don't think you can do that.
You what?
I don't think you could do the gift card. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'll check that.
Okay, I thought we cleared that last month.
I don't think that you can't pay somebody to, you just,
Okay, I know of other companies that do, but let's
let's check. I mean, the whole thing this year with the CFPB is like, they're in Dallas.
Right.
And it's all gotten really, really serious with the second.
Well, let's
version of
confirm
Dodd-Frank. So
on that.
let's
Let's
check that before we start paying them.
Okay. As far as the cost versus value, we're always making enhancements to this. So always look at this and see what changes. Just like on the moving services, there's slight enhancements that happen each month to streamline things. So that's always a kind of working document, a work in progress. And on the listing checklist form, we have a pencil that indicates things that can be completed by a transaction coordinator, to where on our previous listing checklist, it didn't address everything that we have in the marketing plan that the listing coordinator handles. So that's something that they're giving us an option that you guys have to use. Okay, Jeremy, do you want to go over numbers and then we can wrap up? Leads, referral network.
Okay, so total leads for last month that were over, that were over 120,000 were 43.
So 43 referrals we sent out to agents on the KDNA referral network that were over 120,000. Now there were probably, for every one that's over 120,000, there's 4 or 5 that are under 120,000. So the only thing that we measure are the ones that are over 120,000, and that's where we look at the conversion the closest. So really watch your appointment, how many times you're setting appointments with those, and provide feedback with Jeremy on those referrals that go out. Those are very expensive. So
Yeah, and as long as you're keeping pipeline updated, if I don't need to contact you, obviously I won't, because I can look in pipeline. I saw that too. And one thing I wanted to go back to for the cost versus value in our marketing, and I'm going to quote this from Joyce, so not just myself, this is from Joyce. And I'm quoting her. So we've been using Wallenberg's marketing services and working with Jeremy as a breeze. All new listings have custom flyers with consistent, clean, and professional look throughout. Additionally, we've been able to send postcards for new listings, which are co-branded and funded by our partners at Reunion. Thank you. So,
yeah, they've been doing a great job.
yeah. Well, thank you.
And I can't encourage you enough on this items for the listing agent to complete on the checklist, this very thorough checklist that Eric and I have been working on. These enhancements really should allow you guys to provide phenomenal service to your clients. So there's a lot of things that we do that's in our marketing plan that other brokerages don't do. And explaining that to your seller in that listing appointment, all the things that it takes to get a property sold is so important. And if you're spending the time doing all of those things, and it's hard for you guys to be out there in front of more sellers and more buyers. And that's our goal, is to provide the support. Any good brokerage should provide you guys with the support to where you can spend more time with your buyers and with your sellers. So that's always the goal. And anytime you feel like there's a clog in the wheel, or if you feel like that's not happening in any way, let me know, so that way we can remove the clog, or that we can streamline, because we're always streamlining some of these services for you guys. So thank you. And we have lunch that is, oh, Kimberly, sorry.
Hi, everybody. So I just wanted to touch base on a couple of again, but recently we have changed it to where I am able to help you guys as far as ordering the moving boxes, getting the movers scheduled. I know a lot of you guys still aren't reaching out to me and letting me know the timelines of when your closings are happening. So please feel free to shoot me an email or let me know when your closings are scheduled so I can reach out to your clients and let them know. Also, our vendor network. I would like each of you, if you guys are using our vendor network, I would like to know if you're having positive experiences with them, negative experiences. I'm trying to keep that list very up to date. And the best way to do that is to know who's benefiting or not benefiting from our vendors. If they're not doing a good job, we definitely want to get them off the list. Again, Logan said, they're kind of an extension of us. So we want them, showing the best foot forward essentially for us. So if you have any questions regarding that, please feel free to reach out to me, call me. I have gotten some great feedback this month on the surveys. I have started copying you guys as I'm getting your surveys back, mostly just for information. I try to get your clients to give, some comments back to you guys just so you know what they like about your service. I know Tammy had 2 great ones this month, and hopefully, her clients' comments will help her in the future to know what people are liking. So, please utilize us more so we can help you and streamline your business and keep you guys as productive as possible.
And I review every one of those surveys, and the results that we see that generate the most engagement are market knowledge and also responsiveness. So how responsive is the agent and the market knowledge they have. So if you're just responsive, if you just answer your phone and respond to your email, it's 50% of the battle. So keep that in mind.
Kim, are you now doing like you did for Firehouse with the moving boxes? Just to let you know the address, send them?
Good. So one of the things that you'll see come out here in the next month or two, hopefully for the next sales meeting, are drafted email templates and a step-by-step on actual seller communication, because a lot of the tasks that are in this listing checklist are not necessarily relating to the communication you have with your seller. So as far as weekly updates and how to draft your messages to them on the tools that we provide, showing all the Trulia, Zillow, Homes.com, Realtor.com hits for the week, showing how many people inquired online for the week. All those things are real important in your weekly communication to your sellers. And we can do that internally, but we want to provide you the little better communication tools to do that, and diagrams and flow charts. So that's something we're working on. All right, I'll let you get to lunch. And any closing thoughts or final feedback?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. All right,
Yes,
great.
Brian. Sure.
Well, sitting here as well.
Yes. Speak loud and clear, like I have not been.
You guys, I'm just kind of taking notes. I'm going to try to send another email out for just to recap. But testimonials, actually, Barbara and I were working on a James loan who ultimately started to not be able to purchase the property because the inspection came back with a foundation issue. And so we were able to do a 203K renovation loan, move forward with the process. It was actually a Wells Fargo short sale, and they wanted, what was it, the second closing date? And given the holidays, plus the renovation piece, because we've got the contractor to bring in and everything, I was able to get in contact with some of the loan officers in my office. We were able to, all together with Barbara and the listing agent, reach out and contact the asset manager and got it approved back to the 15th. Of course, we're still going to shoot to get that done as soon as possible to the 2nd. That's going to alleviate a lot of pressure. If docs aren't there 48 hours prior to close, they're not going to get the deal. We all work for nothing. So it's just, I think, a great opportunity for us to have saved a deal that otherwise may not have been able to go through. Second part of that, we will be having a renovation class, just MCE credit this Friday. I sent it out in the email recap. I'm going to grab a sheet, have them right here.
All right, good deal. Barbara, Casey?
Well, we've had a couple of great things. I have a client that we got him pre-qualified. He has low credit scores, and he worked really hard to get there, and we're out looking for a house right now. Hopefully, we will get him done before January the 10th.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I have a deal for Logan that's closing at the end of the month, and he shopped me really, really hard on rate and cost and everything. Got the deal, and we're going to get that sucker done by the end of the month, which is great. And we had a client that was actually a Fossil employee, and she got a divorce. Ex-husband was supposed to make the mortgage payments to the lawyers. Made payments to the lawyers, but the lawyers didn't make the mortgage payments.
Whoa.
So when she got ready to buy a house, we pulled the credit, and she had a 60-day past due on her mortgage. But we were able to document all that, got it all done, and she closed on her house, and we got her the down payment assistance program in the process.
Wow.
I don't know if she paid the lawyer after that. I don't know what she did. That was a pretty big deal, but I don't, we didn't go into that. My whole concentration was get that woman in the house. She was going through a tough time.
All right, guys.
He closed the bar, so he.
Thanks for your attention. Enjoy life.